Well, having Netflix is actually a huge honor. Like, the fact that I always wanted to have my own special, in a way, especially with the greats, like, Ricky Gervais and, Robin Williams and stuff like that. Everybody had their own special. I wanted one as well. Like, it's a huge honor, like, to be in the same platform as your heroes. It's just surreal. But for the local stand-up comedy scene, I think it's a huge boost, because before this we were all dreaming about it. We were all dreaming about having your own special, blah blah blah. Now it's a reality. Like, it can happen. If you work hard enough, you can get to a point where people are offering you specials. Like, nobody would thought a boy from Cheras would get a Netflix special. You know what I'm saying? So there is the possibility. So now, the younger comics, the newer comics have something to look up to. They have a goal to achieve. I think it's a thriving industry, but it's still very much in its infancy. We have 13 professional stand-up comedians. It's still very small, but it's growing quite fast, if you know what I mean. Like, in Asia, I think the most thriving stand-up comedy scene would be in Southeast Asia, Malaysia, Singapore and Philippines. Like, the biggest comedy industry in Asia would be India at the moment. I guess in a way we have the ability to become the biggest in Asia very easily, but a lot of times we have a lot of hindrance in Malaysia. I think we have to address those issues first before we can actually really be a global player in comedy itself.
What kind of hindrance are you talking about?
I'm glad you asked me the question, although I kind of led to it. The hindrance, I think, is the biggest hindrance is the media. When I say media, I don't mean just media. I mean everyone, right? I'm not talking about radio, TV, stuff like that. There's nowhere to go. That's why Netflix had to come in for us to have Netflix specials. I was especially worried that a lot of my jokes will not relate to people outside of Malaysia, but then I realized that human beings are the same everywhere. Like, they will relate. I understand that some very deep contextual stuff in Malaysia will not travel, and to be fair, I've started writing jokes to move away from that, to move away from stereotypes. Especially if I do stereotypes, I do Malaysian stereotypes, right? Which is the same, to be fair. Like, a lot of people would say, like, oh, Indians are always late. But if you look back and you think about it, Malaysians are always late. It's not one particular race, it's everyone, right? Everyone is like that. So if I do a stereotype, it's a Malaysian stereotype. But of course, it takes context. Like, if, let's say, for instance, I make fun of Singapore like most Malaysians do, I have to explain to them that the relationship of Malaysia and Singapore is very much like their relationship with their neighbor. They understand that sentiment. So I make fun of the sentiment rather than make fun of the stereotype of what they are. Yes and no. I mean, okay, yes, as in the fact that I do draw inspiration through the ideas, or how do you say it? Like, okay, there's this one comedian that I really like, which is Rod Gilbert, right? Now, he's my favorite comedian in the entire world. I think when I saw him first, I wasn't doing comedy then, I saw him live, and I thought, if I ever be a comedian, that's what I want to be, right? So, and he has this grumpy, complain kind of personality, which I thought very much reflected mine. So, in a way, I drew inspiration from that character, which is predominantly me also, right? So I realized that character fit me well because it's who I am, and that's how I drew inspiration in so many ways. But when it comes to jokes, it has to come from inside. It has to come from you. It's a good question, because my brother has passed away, right? I started comedy because of my brother, and I want to talk about my brother. Like, a lot of times I want to talk about my brother, but I can't. You know why? Because I don't think my family can take it. Like, you know how Asian families are about, death of a young person, and they don't want to talk about it, and they don't want to, let's just sweep it under the rug in so many ways. And it's very difficult for me because I want to talk about it, because there's a lot of things about me and my brother that I think I want to tell, especially about when he died, and the emotions that I felt at that time, because although it's not funny, but it's an honest feeling. No, a lot of people ask me what would I be if I wasn't a comedian. I would probably be in jail, because I was so bored in life. I just wanted excitement, right? This is my excitement now, thank God, right? But I don't know what I would have done. Like, I would have been a massive drug addict, I guess. But it's just the fact that I think it helped put me in a place where I was a much better person, I guess. I knew that I wanted to be like a celebrity, but I didn't want to be an Instagram celebrity because I look like this, which is not going to help lah. But if it wasn't for my brother, as I said, the only reason I leaped into stand-up comedy was because he passed away. I know it's a bad thing to use, but if he didn't, I would probably go on thinking as I did then, which was, yeah, I can do it anytime. I realized that life is way too short for me to put things out, and I'm very thankful that I did what I did, and eventually, with everything that happened over 12 years, I'm where I am now. I don't know, to be honest. I feel like I want her to do whatever she wants to do, right? And this is a true story that happened a few months ago. My wife had taken her to this play place, right? So in this play place, they had an event space, right, with a stage and a mic. So my daughter immediately went on stage, grabbed the mic and started talking, as though doing comedy, right? She didn't obviously do comedy as in jokes, but she was talking like, "Hey everybody, how are you?" And my wife took a video and sent it to me, and I went, gone lah, finish, no more, like no future this girl. She's 5. She's a sponge. She's absorbing things, and she thinks this is what I do for a living. She doesn't quite understand what a comedian is, but yeah, she thinks that she knows that is a career option, right? I don't know. I'm done already. I think I'll go sell fish. I don't know. That's the thing, though. I don't know what's the next game. I guess tour, Malaysia tour, which I'm doing in August. US tour eventually, which I'm working on. But fingers crossed.
That will be a target.
That will be a target. Yes. I'm already talking to people, and there are people interested to do it. And it's a lot. It's very exciting at the same time. I'm really scared about this whole what's next thing. Like I know I have to step it up. That's the hard part, Like you thought that you're already here, now you have to be further up. You're like, oh no, what are you gonna do? What, like if you're a tennis player, you can train harder, right? If you're a singer, you can you can practice harder. As a comedian, what are you gonna do? Write jokes harder? It doesn't work like that, So be angrier. I don't know. I guess it'll happen when it happens. It's 100% new. It's 100%. When I say 100% new, I mean 100% you haven't seen lah. Obviously, I do a lot of open mics, and that's how that's our gym in so many ways. Like comedians have gyms, which is open mics, and we go to open mics and we work out bits and bits and bits. So each time I get 7 minutes, I work out 7 minutes of material. So 7, eventually become 1 hour, right? So I worked out those materials. You probably have seen it, but not seen it together. So it's a whole new set of a story arc that I'm building for this special, and it's very funny. So I hope. Okay, if you're watching this, okay, you need to go to hype.my, because I'm having my tour. Do you understand that the tour is in August? Okay, if you don't go, you're an idiot. You understand? I'm doing a show in a cinema, yo. It's never been done before. Nobody has gone to a cinema and done a live show, because people go there and watch movies. Okay? And this show, hey, guess what? If you talk, nobody will shush you, because there will be another person who is me talking in a cinema. Okay? This is what's going to happen. So you come to the show, the details will be around here somewhere, right? In August 3rd, 4th, 5th in KL. and other dates everywhere else, right? Just go to cinema and book the tickets here, not now. Hype.my.